running on the boat. And my wife and I are still sitting there while the shark goes around, and the people on the boat are like, no, they're right, it's not a dangerous shark. We're leaving in 10 minutes anyways, but a few people got back in with the nurse shark. Now, there it is, headline, Dangerous Cows, New York Times. How many does it say cows kill? I know it's got to be a lot, because I know people that have had family killed by cows. How many is it saying? 21 cases in which people were killed by cows. That's not as much as I thought from 03 to 07 in Iowa, Kansas, Missouri, Nebraska. I know a lot of folks get hurt by cows. And there were other cases where cows fell on people accidentally, they're claiming. Very trendy. All right, listen, our guest did not show up, but that is no big deal because I want to go to your phone calls. And that happens sometimes, time zone issues. I was going to get him on about collapsing economies and the internet under attack, but I want to go to your phone calls anyways for Richard, Steve, Patrick, Sean, Tara, and others. We'll get to all of you after this break. And I've sort of kind of digressed here. And if you're a new listener and you think I'm being macho saying that I'll swim 1.5 miles, you know, only 500 yards from shore out to a wreck with a snorkel and fins, that's not because I'm macho or I'm tough. That's because you've become domesticated. And that's nothing. So I suggest you start taking some more risk and stop being so scared of everything. Because that's how they turn us into a nation of cowards who are totally afraid of sharks, and because it's an archetypal image. It's propaganda. And it's the same thing with terrorists. Okay, you got a better chance being killed by a cow than you do by a terrorist. And you need to understand that. And that isn't real in Hollywood, all the terror attacks and all that stuff. And I know you know that consciously, but subconsciously, people are afraid. That's why they say, I'll give up all my rights and let people grab my genitals at the airport to keep me safe from something that is about as real as leprechauns. All right, we'll be right back. Stay with us. Okay, I'm going to go to your phone calls. And then I want to get into the latest on Iran. Some very important news concerning China. And also some good news. Senate to vote on bill that could kick TSA out of airports. That's at prisonplanet.com. But right now, let's go to Richard in Canada. Thank you for holding, Richard.
Thank you very much. Blessings from Canada. I'm just wondering if a nuclear reactor could be looked at like a false flag, like the idea of what's going on in the Strait of Hormuz with that old battleship that they have there. You know, the idea that they would blow it up and then blame it on somebody else.
Well, yeah, they've got an aging aircraft carrier that's set to be decommissioned in December, and that's the one they have cruising back and forth in front of the Iranians, begging them to shoot at it. So that is clearly a false flag because they could get into a shooting match easily. We know Cheney wanted to attack one of our ships and blame it on the Iranians. Pulitzer Prize winner Cy Hirsch has documented that. We have all the other pieces of evidence there. But, yes, the globalists could blow up a reactor and say that terrorists had done it. I mean, they're endangering our whole society right now in so many other ways. They don't care. They're a bunch of ruthless people who know no bounds, who think they're God, full of chutzpah and arrogance and bravado, who think they're bulletproof and don't care about the future. And a lot of globalists, I've got some of their quotes in Endgame, my film, they make statements about, oh, well, if we do destroy the earth, you know, trying to get immortality and trying to discover the secrets of the earth, that's just the way it is. So it's like you're not even in their club unless you want to dally with destroying the earth. A little hint, the special 30-minute documentary I'm producing that is going to air at the Dallas event the 19th of this month, and at the event in Orlando, Florida, the 26th, on that Sunday, I'm going to give like an hour-and-a-half speech, 30 minutes of question and answer, and then premiere the special film. It deals with the real ways the globalists are threatening to destroy the planet. You know, it covers the real threats to humanity. And of course, the speech is about blueprints to defeat the New World Order. People can find out about that at Infowars.com/events. The tickets are going fast for Dallas and Orlando if people want to be part of that. Anything else, sir?
I was also going to mention along those lines that Newt Gingrich was on the television mentioning that after his second term as president, that they will have the space station on the moon completely up and running. And I'm just, it's like he's trying to tell us something through that statement.
Yeah, why are we going to have a space station on the moon when we can't even protect our power grid? And again, 90+%, they say 80, but it's more like 90, of the space program's secret. There's rockets blasting off, but that's old technology. That's 1920s Werner von Braun technology. The Saturn rocket was a 1930s design. The space shuttle was a 30s design that Werner von Braun drew. Hitler wanted a space shuttle. Heavy lifters is old. It's big, giant space planes that take off like planes and land like planes, and they've got 30-plus years of secret tech on that. That's pretty much admitted. And so Lord knows what they've already got in space. There is a giant secret space program. I don't think you can speculate exactly to what's going on, because folks I've talked to who do know a little bit about that, because they were the heads of NASA programs, head of, cameras on the moon, head of RCA programs in that area, heads of, I've talked to the former head of the Star Wars program, Dr. Bob Bowman, Colonel Bowman, and they will not talk about it. But they can point you in directions of things that have been leaked. But there is by the late 70s, there was already a stealth robot space plane drone fleet in orbit. That's the 1970s. We're not in Kansas anymore, Bubba.
It would appear as though we're not. One quick thing. What is your opinion of, I think her name is Marine Le Pen in France?
I don't know enough about her to endorse everything she's doing, but she's nationalistic moderately, kind of like a Pat Buchanan. I know a lot about her dad. I know Bob Chapman, who lived there for a while, says he knows the Pens well, and he never seen Bob lie. And he says he knew her when she was a little girl. He says she's a wonderful woman. So I think that's a pretty good endorsement right there. What do you think?
I heard about her through the Bob Chapman, and I heard about him through you, and then I went and started listening to as much as I could about of his, and he endorses her quite a bit. So I'm just researching her, and I think it's a good thing that there's somebody else out there like Ron Paul, because here in Canada, the closest thing we had was Jack Layton, and he kind of died. So we're kind of on our own here.
But liberty's growing, so more leaders will step up. Let's continue moving quickly through your calls before I hit more news before we end this hour. I got a lot of important stuff I haven't gotten to yet. There's stacks of it here. Let's go to Steve in Vermont. You're on the air. Thanks for holding.
Hey, Alex, how's it going?
Good. Broadcasting worldwide, my friend.
Absolutely. I had more of a statement, I guess, than a question. Vermont Yankee Power Plant is, according to a report that I saw, one of the worst and, I guess, fastest decaying nuclear power plants in the country. And during the height of the Occupy movement, we had some construction going on by the Green Mountain Power Company trying to build wind turbines, and there were people trying to get close, and I guess to where they were trying to blow stuff up so they couldn't set the explosions off to build the wind turbines. And I was just wondering why a power plant that is in such poor shape gets so little national attention.
Because it's a conspiracy theory. The plant doesn't even exist. I mean, that's here in Austin, they say the reactors in Austin just do not exist. There's a media policy that if you talk about it, you're laughed at. Even though you can just type in nuclear reactor, University of Texas, there it is, the photos, video, they're quite proud of how big it is. And it's the same thing. It's this new delusional thing where isotopes are several hundred times what they should be. Okay, we'll just raise them 1,000 times. What's safe? Oh, well, this isotope's, so deadly, it's 80-something thousand times what it should be. We'll just raise it 100,000 times. Say it's safe. And they just wave a trendy wand. And they go, trendy government. But then they say, take over Farmer's Ranch for the earth. And everybody's like, take it, take it. Carbon dioxide humans breathe is evil. I mean, literally. You're like, that's mindless. They're like, shut up, extremist. GMO's killing you. And they're like, shut up, extremist. So anything that isn't a threat, like terrorist or carbon dioxide, they run in fear, literally flopping around, pulling their hair out and gnashing their teeth and just shaking and begging for a pot-bellied person from the TSA to grab their body parts or humiliate their wife and children, or to be put them in a microwave oven and body scan them and then lie to them and say it's not dangerous. But yes, rotting 35, 40, 45, some are almost 50 years old, nuclear waste all stored there, rotting from the radiation. And now they're just setting the precedent to say it's safe, and they just flip a switch and release radiation, and you're going to hear about it now, not on a weekly basis, but daily. Now, they're like, oh, radiation alarms. Well, since those scare people, we're just getting rid of them now. You know, down in Southern California, they're going, you know what, maybe we just won't turn alarms on when it scared people when we released radiation, and it's not bad for you anymore. DU wasn't allowed to be used until 1990. It said it's totally deadly and it'll kill you, but now they just like use it. And then the young men, after a tour or so, have blood coming out their nose, deformed children, they're dying, they're in wheelchairs, they're on life support, they go in pine boxes in the ground, the family all stands around. I've seen it on the news. They just stand around and give the preacher says, you know, Billy fought Al-Qaeda, and everybody cries, and no one asks why he died of lung cancer. Nobody asks why he died of kidney failure from the DU. They just get all patriotic, and Pat Tillman died fighting Al-Qaeda as well. Even though the government admits they killed him. You know, it's just all part of a trendiness. Does that answer your question? It's all about trendiness, sir.
For the most part. I mean, really, I guess I think what we're fighting up here is what a lot of people call NIMBYism, not in my backyard. And it's just strange to me that people would rather have a rotting nuclear reactor in their backyard than a few wind turbines.
Well, I hear you, brother. I hear you. But, again, you're a conspiracy theorist if you're worried about what's admitted to be one of the oldest, most rotting, out-of-spec, out-of-code reactors. Look, Amish aren't allowed to build barns now because it's bad for the earth. But if you want to have a 45-year-old reactor leaking radiation, it's fine. Don't be an extremist. Do you understand, sir?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's been tons of leaks, and yeah, you know, I've been called paranoid from just about. Oh,
you're no. You're bad. You're bad, sir. Now, if you wanted to tax humans for breathing, because carbon dioxide's so deadly, so you have to get carbon dioxide that plants breathe is bad. Radiation that kills us is good. Do you understand that? Are you starting to figure this out now?
Oh, absolutely.
Good.
I've been awake for a long time listener.
All right, God bless you. I'm glad you admit you're bad. Patrick I'm a little sarcastic here because it's so absurd what's happening. Patrick in New York, you're on the air. You've got some rotting nuclear power plants up there as well.
Oh, no. Hey, Alex Jones. Great to be on the show. I wanted to tell you about some deceptive information I've been coming across on the Internet. One is 11 bad habits for kids' teeth. It seems to me that it's just a sugar-coated guide for poor psychological development. Like it has middle-of-the-night breastfeeding. It kind of demonizes breastfeeding a bit. Oh, breastfeeding is completely unnatural, sir. Whoa, we got another extremist. I'm sure the Associated Press says it's reasonable that 5-year-olds are arrested for running on the playground. Running is evil. Just as evil as breastfeeding. Let me tell you, I've predicted, because the globalists say they want to make things totally unnatural, break up the family. If they had their way in 50 to 100 years, it would be an arrestable thought crime to say that women or any mammals ever breastfeed their young. And I'm not being sarcastic. And see, right there, you're saying that, I mean, they're already, they're reporting I mean, I saw an article last week all over the news. Pregnancy is dangerous, get abortions. And they actually said pregnancy is almost unnatural. It's archaic, and just have an abortion. It's 3 times safer. Guys, pull it up. Abortion's safer than birth. So pretty soon it's don't breastfeed. That's Al-Qaeda. Give all your rights up for non-existent terrorists. So who puts up who put out the 11 things that are bad for your snappers? I originally found it on AOL News, but now I only find it on this Everyday Health website. I can't find an author anymore.
Sir, are you saying that babies are supposed to breastfeed every 3 hours? I mean, I guess my wife was wrong to get up when the babies cried and breastfeed them. Oh, man, I'm so extreme. They're going to probably call child welfare on us. You mean I was wrong? AOL says that you... Oh, man. Whoa, extremist right now. I'm sorry. We're so radical. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And also...